Greetings, Palian housing enthusiasts. Welcome to today's video. The first request that we've had in a hot minute. I'd like to start today's video with a thank you to, I hope I'm saying your username correctly, Marie DeClaro 2336. She requested any tips or advice on sticking trees straight up. And so that's what we're going to do today. Although I'm not going to show just one way to do it, so we are going to do multiple ways, two of which are going to be cross-compatible, and one is only going to be for PC players. Sorry, Switch. Unfortunately, PC players can use Switch glitches, but not the other way around. As everyone will be able to see in today's tutorial, we'll be doing the work on the new Autumn Acres landscape. A big thanks goes out to an anonymous donor who donated the funds needed to acquire the landscape. More than, actually, because the landscape ended up being much less than I thought it would be. Once again, any excess funds will just go back into the landscape fund for the channel to get more testing landscapes. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, I can about now any of the landscapes, feel free to fire those off. And if anybody would like to support the channel still, the Ko-Fi link is down in the video description. Okay, so for the materials that we're going to require for today, I think I have everything amassed. Since we are doing three different examples, there's going to be a bit. For a lot of what we're doing today, we're going to be using a wall shelf setup. So you're going to need a mess of builder's floors. Any will do for today. I'm going to be using builder's wood floors. You're just going to need anything that you can stick a wall shelf on. I will be using a builder's wood wall. Any of the walls or crates will work. You'll need at least 2 pillars for one part. I prefer, you don't have to, but I prefer using either the stone or one of the metallic pillars. And then the other one, it doesn't matter what kind you use, wood or metallic. You'll see why later. And then for the first example, we'll need 1 Yardwork leafy log, 1 Yardwork small terrace, 1 Yardwork medium terrace, and then I'll be adding some floral elements to it, so just some gardenia flowers and some bahari nettles. And then the second example, the materials are just a Yardwork medium terrace and then Yardwork leafy log. The third example, we're going to need any item to use for item cancellation. It's okay if you don't understand what that means. This is a PC specific term, so Switch players, you don't really need to know what this term means. And then PC players, I will explain what that term means later. And then 1 wood slab paver, and then we'll need 2 Yardwork leafy logs for that one. One is just for measurement purposes, and then the other one will actually be the one that we're placing. And then I suppose this actually ties into example 2, but you are going to want like a bunch of extra terrace pieces for example 2, and it's just to like build a stack. More on that when we get to example 2. Alright, so to follow along exactly like with what I'm doing, I'll be facing towards the front of our plot, and we are going to place down our builder's wall and then attach our shelf to it, and then place a pillar on that shelf. Next, we're going to make a row of 3 floors, and we're going to make sure that they are all independent of one another. The way that you can make sure that they're independent of one another is that no grass should be showing. After that, we're going to use our group select button. So on PC, it's Alt, and then on Switch, it's ZL. And then you group select on the end of the floors, and you move it and attach it to the pillar. And now when we do that, if the 3 floors are independent of one another, that allows us to move these flooring out of the way. And we just have one singular floor hovering in midair like that. So yeah, it's a little bit of setup work. And lastly, we just add a little bit of height to it. There we go. Got our little setup going on now. Let's get into the first example. So we're going to place our medium terrace, and then on top of the medium terrace, we're going to take one of our wood floors that we moved out of the way, and we're going to place it on top of the terrace. And now we're going to target the builder's wood floor and press our group select button. Now what this does is it makes the system think that this terrace is a building block. And as such, it allows us to connect it to the other building block that's up there. There we go. After which, we can turn it like that. Now here's where this guy comes in. We're just going to place it like this. Make sure it's in this orientation. You do it this way, your log isn't going to stick as far out of the ground as I liked it in any way. To each their own though. And now we're going to face this way. Once again, to each their own. If you face this way though, this like larger end of the log, which looks larger to me, will be facing towards the sky. All that being said, now that I'm looking at it, that actually looks a little bit better. It's like the curvature of the... Well, so yeah. Do that again. So actually face this way. Because, yeah, the curvature of the tree goes, you know, towards the sky. I'm adorable. And then, yeah, the next part about this bit is then we can just go into aerial and attach it up there. And then we can move our log up and down. Then we can just check. Yeah, it looks nice. Now I did mention, you know, flowers. So let's just take that back down. And let's just, you know, nuzzle in. And the reason why I'm doing this now is because once we rotate the landscape piece, it is going to turn into like a stone texture. You'll see in a hot second. No. Let's see. We see that the grass isn't actually showing anymore. It's actually kind of funny. The grass is only on the part that's towards the sky. But yeah, so that's option one. Option two comes actually with kind of a funny story. Because maybe a week or two, or a few weeks ago, I was chatting with a colleague of mine, Opal Flame, about different glitches and whatnot. And I informed her about this one foot glitch. And now people who are who frequent my my stream are probably familiar with how I refer to the different glitches as colors. And when it comes to this specific glitch, I mentioned to her, I'm just like, now this one glitch, in terms of colors, it's basically puce. Because it exists, and I know that it exists. And for those who don't know, puce is a mix of purple and brown. So yeah, it exists, and I know that it exists. I have no idea how it's useful, but I'm sure it could be in the right circumstances. And yeah, sorry if puce is anyone's favorite color, but yeah. And you'll see why in 1 second. So this glitch that I'm about to use, theLilianGames refers to as I believe she calls it the Levitating Block in her one video talking about different block mechanics. Now the thing about this glitch, it's not relegated to only blocks. You can actually use it on anything, which is why we're going to do it now. So you just get up to the item, and as you see, it flies off into space. And it's perfectly placeable up there. However, that is not where we wanted it. So I'm just gonna pick it back up. So yeah, if you misplace it, like I just did, just go into the aerial and pick it back up. So what we want to do is get really close to it, and we're going to turn off our grid. And this should allow us to kind of get out there and then actually go up a little bit. Ever so slightly. Now, I think the branches will be facing the ground again. Facing that way. No. There, yes. Now the branches will be facing the right way. There. But see, it's not actually floating in midair. It's attached to this terrace. When we take it down, it's going to be standing up. However, now all you need to do is like get up to a higher elevation and place this guy up here. And bingo bango, Tiny Dragon is definitely not your uncle, but you know. Ta-da! Alright, now the last one that we're going to do is probably the most difficult. But that's okay. When is anything pretty ever easy? So for this one, we are going to cycle through the wood slab paver models until we get to the largest one. Yeah, there we go. That riptide looking sucker. Now we're going to stick a pillar on top of it. No, we don't want a pillar. We would like a floor. And then bad dragon, bad tiny dragon. Skip this step. Put the floor on top of the paver. Press the group select button to move it via group select, and then attach it to the floor. That way it's hovering away from the floor. There we go, I set all the steps. Alright, and now move our wall back up top. And we want it going in towards that way. So for this one, we are going to be using a combination of solo float and obstacle flicking. Yes, if ever a solution was less Switch friendly, it was this one. So I'm so sorry, Switch players. Now here is where we are going to need our second log. We're going to center it on the pillar, and this is going to give us the distance that we are going to float. And remember at the beginning of the video, or not the beginning, but in the materials section, when I mentioned that scary word, item cancellation, and I promised you that I would explain it. Well, I'm about to. So item cancellation is not as scary as it sounds. All it is when you move an item, and now instead of left clicking, we're going to press a number key, and you'll see on the visualizer up there that I'm going to press number 1 where my Giga Frogbert is. And yeah, I purposefully grabbed a massive plushie so you guys could all see, and it would be absolutely ridiculous. You don't have to use that. It works with any item, but the important part is that you use a decor item. If you try using anything else, it'll just slingshot the item back. I need to correct myself there. Or an item that counts or can be placed as decor. And there's a reason that distinction does matter, because there are food items that can be placed as decor, there are fish that can be placed as decor, but they're not technically decor, or they're not in the decor tab. So, sorry, I just didn't want anybody gotchaing me. So yeah, that's item cancellation. Now, I mentioned that we are going to be doing obstacle flicking. For obstacle flicking, it is very complicated. And if anyone does not know how to obstacle flick, there will be a link to the video in the corner. Please pause the video and go and watch that video. I'll wait. Okay, thank you. Welcome back. Now we'll continue. Sorry, just if I took the time to explain exactly how obstacle flicking works, this video would be like 40 minutes long. Especially if I went through like the setup and everything. So what we're going to do is move our pillar just from right here, and we're going to go to the edge of the log. Yeah, right about there should do. And now we're going to press number 1. And now this paver is good to go for solo float. And now we're going to go for an obstacle flick. So let's see exactly where we're going to flick. So right about there. And remember, if the first time fails, it's okay. Just try again. Sorry, because not everyone knows this. You can activate your float by grabbing onto this assembly. Sorry, everyone needs to realize that so many of these things are so second nature to me at this point that I need to catch myself. I love you all, I'm so sorry. So yeah, if you grab your builder's gold pillar, or whatever pillar that you're using, and you place it down in the same location, or if you just place it anywhere really, you move it over here, and you place it. The second you place it, it'll activate your float. And so yeah, now we can come over here, and we can grab our wood slab. Beautiful, that worked exactly the way I wanted it to. I actually had no idea how that was going to turn out, but it's great. So the wood slab is peeking out just enough that we can actually see it. That's fantastic. And there you go. That one's by far the hardest. A note to everyone, there's a reason I make it look easy, and that's because I practiced a lot. And if you practice, you can too. I did not wake up being able to do all of this. So yeah. You know, by far, this is the one that's like the cleanest. Because, well, Switch or PC players, of course, have it easy. Sorry, Switch players, you're playing on hard mode. So yeah, that's the tutorial. There's 3 ways of making logs stand up. Of course, for all but example 2, you can augment it for different angles as well, if you would like. Example 2 gets a little bit hairy because if you fire that off into space, into the stratosphere, it will raise it. So you need to then correct the angle back down, or yeah, you need to correct, or sorry, it'll raise it out of the ground is what I'm trying to say anyway. So yeah, okay, let's get into the thank yous, because due to how many glitches I used, there is actually a bit of a shopping list. Which, to start off, I do want to a special shout out and thank you to Crafty TCR of Palia Gathering. She was the one that showed me the launching glitch. She wasn't but also shout out to theLilianGames for her tutorial where she shows all of the testing and work that she did on the launching glitch, or sorry, not launching. As I said, she calls it the levitating block or something. Massive thank you and shout out goes to Drake Lance, who, by the way, has his own YouTube channel now. Massive congrats on that one. I will link it in the video description. Everybody should definitely check it out. He's just starting out and showing some love, but he was the one who did all of the testing and taught a ton of us about the obstacle flick functionality that we use for a ton of stuff. And then, of course, Voidness, who has had her fingerprints on the testing of so many things. Everyone would check out if I took the time to list them all. It's a lot, but obstacle flicking is one of them of note, and she discovered original flicking as well. Big thank you to Artemis Sever of Rockstar Productions. He's still getting his YouTube channel up and running, but I will still link it in the video description. And massive shout out to everybody at Unofficial Palia Housing. If anybody watching this now has not already joined, please see the link in the video description. It's a great place if you need any help or just want to be inspired. And I never know why I leave this to the very end, but my Twitch streams are every Monday and Wednesday at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time if anybody needs any help. It's not there for my own self-gratification. It is there for people to come and ask questions and for me to do demonstrations for people. Because personally I am a visual learner, and I feel like a lot of people are, and yeah, so come. You don't need to hang out for the entire thing, and yeah, it's that time of the video, because as always, I've been a tiny dragon with the most titanic dreams, hoping your dreams, wherever you are in the world, stay just as big. Alright, I'll see you guys in the future.